Part 18. When the master craftsman meets the cross-disciplinary defense genius. Mozi's great battle against Lu Ban. So, the southern hegemon, the state of Chu, had summoned the era's most formidable infrastructure demon, Lu Ban. Chu was all set to flex its muscles, planning to build a batch of siege ladders capable of scaling high walls, all for the purpose of attacking Mozi's small, pitiful, and transparent hometown, the state of Song. The name Lu Ban is quite significant, though ancient craftsmen weren't highly regarded, and his name was a bit fuzzy. Perhaps Gongshu Ban or Gongshu Pan. Since he was from the state of Lu, the name eventually simplified to Lu Ban. Mozi heard this news and thought, this can't stand. If war broke out, the common folk would suffer again. He rushed frantically to Chu to seek an audience with the king. The king of Chu, holding Lu Ban's siege artifact in his hand, was full of ambition. Why would he listen to any advice to stop? Seeing that soft diplomacy wouldn't work, Mozi instantly transformed into the warring state's #1 hardcore threat maker. He told the king of Chu, "Your Majesty, don't get ahead of yourself. Even with Lu Ban as your cheat code, I, Mozi, can help the state of Song defeat your mighty Chu." The king of Chu thought, what international joke is this old man cracking? But when Mozi proposed a pre-battle sand table war game against Lu Ban, the king was intrigued. And so a tabletop game that would decide Song's fate began. Mozi immediately took off his belt and circled it on the ground. The city wall of Song was born. He and Lu Ban each grabbed a pile of small wooden pieces to act as offensive and defensive gear. Lu Ban, true to his technical stream origins, constantly changed the formations of the soldiers and the designs of the siege ladders, attacking with all his might. But Mozi, he only used humble, unadorned tactics like meet force with force, subdue floods with earth, yet he cleanly countered every single one of Lu Ban's attacks. Lu Ban launched 9 consecutive attacks, and all 9 times he was utterly defeated. Frustrated, Lu Ban suddenly declared, "I already have a way to win, but I won't say it." Mozi, spiritually aligned, promptly retorted, "I know what your way is, and I won't say it either." This riddle completely confused the king of Chu. Mozi immediately revealed the secret. Lu Ban's way is to kill me right now. That way, without Mozi, the state of Song naturally couldn't resist Chu's attack. But then Mozi laid down his ultimate trump card. "Your Majesty, though I'm here in your hands, I taught my disciples all my defensive tactics before coming. They are now fully prepared in Song. If you dare to start the war, the defeat you saw on this sand table today will be the live broadcast of tomorrow's battlefield." The king of Chu realized this was a bad deal, and in the end, reluctantly abandoned his plan to attack Song. The state of Song was saved. Ironically, Mozi's humble and unadorned defense technique later evolved into a famous derogatory term, Mo Shou Cheng Gui, dogmatically sticking to rigid rules. Talk about being unfairly targeted. His humble tactics saved a nation, but his name became synonymous with inflexibility. Meanwhile, Lu Ban, who was thoroughly defeated by Mozi, became the patriarch of Chinese carpentry. His superb craftsmanship contributed another idiom, Ban Men Nong Fu, showing off one's axe before Lu Ban's gate. specifically used to describe amateurs foolishly showing off in front of experts. Two masters, one targeted into a rigid rule, the other thoroughly defeated into a patriarch. History truly is a master of dark humor. Even more astonishing was Mozi's talent for science. Perhaps because he was a carpenter in his youth and enjoyed hands-on practice, Mozi's insights into physics, geometry, and optics made him practically the Einstein of the Warring States period. He studied force and motion, defined force, knew that objects needed force to start or stop, and even observed concepts like inertia and gravitational acceleration. Magnificent, Mozi! You were just this close to kicking open the door to physics. Alas, Mozi, he ultimately stopped at perceptual intuition, failing to take the final step to clarify the abstract relationships between mass, force, velocity, and acceleration. If he had succeeded, perhaps the Newton who collected shells on the beach 2,000 years later might have indeed had to stick to just collecting shells. Mozi had many more one-step short regrets. He studied the limits of dividing matter, proposing the smallest point, but couldn't name it atom as the Greeks on the other side of the globe did. Finally, this great workaholic master, who worried himself sick for his school and his country, even opposed entertainment. He vehemently opposed music, believing that ringing bells, beating drums, and playing zithers couldn't put food on the table and offered no benefit for promoting gain or preventing harm. He argued that time spent on music would be better used for farming or weaving. One really wants to ask Mozi, "Brother, after people have eaten their fill, don't they need a little music to remind themselves that the reason a human is the ability to enjoy pleasure?" Mozi's final fate remains a mystery, though he is believed to have left this world around 390 BC, leaving behind his classic work, Mozi, which records the deeds of this cross-disciplinary prodigy, a combination of craftsman, military strategist, philosopher, and physics precursor.